Hey guys, happy June 19th, I think it is. Welcome to the Pansy Picot Craftcast. My name is Kay, and this is just my little craft cast where I talk about some of the cross stitch and knitting that I've gotten up to. A little bit of a rebranding from Kay's cross stitch, since I do a whole heck of a lot more stuff now than just cross stitch. So I thought, you know, fairness in advertising. Craftcast. It is a beautiful day, mostly overcast. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of water out of the clouds, but who knows? Could be something, could be nothing, could be dry lightning, and dry lightning is the last thing that we need. I hope you guys are doing okay. It's been a lovely about 3 months for me since I last did a video. Princess is here, of course. She's my cat. She's down here demanding loves and pets for me and complaining that she is not the center of attention, as you know she should be. Thank you for everybody who is new here, and welcome again to all of my old friends who have wandered back. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? I guess we'll start with cross stitch today, since that is what we have the least amount of stuff to go over. I've just been cross stitching a little bit. I have been working on the Advent Animals from Brooks Books Publishing. They're a free season, and since I talked to you last, I started and finished Pink Panda. She is done on a 32 count linen of some sort that has just a little bit of sparkle to it. This was a custom dye that I had done from a dyer who is, sadly she's no longer dyeing. She took a short break about 10 years ago and has never returned. So in addition to Pink Panda, I have also finished Ethan Elephant. He's looking charming and dapper in his suit and comes bearing gifts. I am stitching these with the called for DMCs, primarily two strands of flosses over 2 linen threads. Excellent coverage. I enjoy it. I have been working on these primarily at work during my lunch break. We have gone back to the office. It is a thing now. I know, Princess, she's being needy. She's being demanding. Let's see. I haven't quite started on Odette Owl, which is the next one in the series that I'll be doing. So there's kind of a picture of her, even though she is in black and white. I've cut the fabric and pulled most of the flosses. Looks like I'm missing 2, so that's going to require a trip over to Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Actually, I should just rummage around in my, let's see, which way are the boxes? The boxes with my floss are almost directly behind me. Doesn't matter where I go. You really won't get a view of it. That is what I have been stitching on. Not too long ago, moving into the cross-stitch acquisition since the last time I talked to you all. Not too long ago when Shepherd's Bush opened their doors to in-store shopping, so you could actually go in and shop. It was a wonderful thing. My best friend and I went up to do some shopping. She had a gift certificate from the first Stitches West conference that she was looking to spend some money on, and so we went up there and she spent her gift certificate. I picked up, this is the Boo Hollow box, kind of a Halloween themed kit. As you can see, it has all of the flosses, a needle, and the linen included. And it goes into this cute little box that they had on display at the store. I even bought the little box for it to go in. When I had originally purchased it, I thought it would be the perfect little smalls gift exchange for Stitch West, since Kev and Debbie were saying that they were going to do the Stitch West retreat, and it's coming, just wait a little bit, be patient, it's coming. And so I purchased that, anticipating, since I went to the first, I would be early on the list to get invoices for the second, and indeed, I have the invoice for the second, but after some debate with my best friend, we decided that we're not going to go to the second one. It basically boils down to, it was going to be a little more expensive than what we were comfortable paying for a retreat. The dollars per hour of fun just wasn't going to work out. No, don't rub up against that. No. Do you want me to cuddle you? Because I'll cuddle you. Doing battle with the cat so she doesn't rub up against the camera, since you're on an end table and she can easily get to it. I will hug you. Anyway, it was, you know, one little thing and one little thing and another little thing, and it just sort of all combined to be completely inconvenient, and I I don't, you know, just the dollars per hour of fun, it just didn't really work out in my little accounting brain, because I have a little accounting brain. So Stitch West, not going this year. So there's that. So that is all I've got going on for cross stitch, my purchases, my little things and whatnot. Let's take a minute and we'll come back with some knitting. Are you ready for some knitting? Of course you are. If you hear a little bit of humming in the background, that's the air conditioning running, and I'm just not going to turn off the air conditioning. It's way hot out there. It's just hot, 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 hot. Isn't there a song? Something like that? Hot, hot, hot. Anyway, let's start with the shawls that I had finished the last time I talked to you, but they were not blocked. So I've blocked them all out, woven all in the ends in, and clipped all the ends, and they're ready for their close-up, as it were. We'll start with, I'm going to say that the needles I use are waaaaay sharps. It's an interchangeable set. I really like the points on the waaaays. They can really get in close and pick up all sorts of little bits of loose ends and whatnot. And when you're stitching, they're great for lace. It's just what I use. There are the red twist cords on the Chow-goos that are really, really nice. And like many a knitter has said, the perfect combination of needles would be the Chow-goo cords with the waaaaay sharps tips. Anyway, just because I'm not going to mention the kind of needles that I use, but I use a waaaaay sharp interchangeable set that I got for my birthday a couple years ago. So the very first shawl, this is Sadie's shawl. It is by Katie H. Carroll. Here we go. It's upside down, but that's okay. This way it shows the color of, well, the big old lace panel, much easier, plus the stockinette stripe that's going on across the top. So there you go. This is a wonderful shawl. The yarn is by Woolly Wonka, who has her own podcast. It is the, of course, it always drops out of my mind as soon as I go to say it. Fiber Floss and Fiction Fiber Floss. Anyway, Ann P. She's wonderful. She does the yarns and knits quite a bit. She's a knitting instructor in her real workaday life. But anyway, so here is the Sadie shawl, and the lace is turned out very, very nice. The stripes and the pattern are things, and it's monstrously huge, so it will keep us very, very warm should the winter ever return. Next up is the Dried Petals shawl. This is by Jessica Anderson, and the yarn comes from our very own Savannah. So Livy Dyes Yarn is her brand name. She has a podcast here. She's only got about 600 subscribers. So those of you who are doing the great work of the under 1,000 subs club, go check out Sue Livy. Give her a subscription. She has, like me, turned from cross stitch to mostly knit, but she is a multi-crafter. She's doing beautiful knits along the lines of sweaters and socks and a couple of shawls here and there. Anyway, go check her out. Anyway, this is her yarn. So this wonderful minty green is Polar Bear. I keep wanting to call it Polar Bear Teal, but it's Polar Bear. And then the multicolor, this is the Olivia. So this one was kind of a fun one for me, because when I came to about here, I was at the end of the pattern, but I still had 50 grams left of the two colors of yarn. So I really wanted to use all of my yarn, because who wants scraps? I've got enough scraps. So many scraps. Anyway, so this is this one all blocked out, and that lace is just so beautiful. I really love it. I added on 3 repeats of the lace to eat up more of the polar bear. And then all of this was extra, and I added a beautiful picot edging to the edge here, so that would, picot edging uses up a little bit of yarn. Let's throw it on so you can see in the dead of winter. This is also quite the yard shawl. Here we go, tuck it in, fluff it out. Yes, that'll fit nicely under a jacket. Keep your neck nice and warm when you have to go out in the cold, 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 cold. So this is Dried Petals by Jessica Anderson. Next on the list of shawls that have been blocked, since I last talked to you. This is the garden variety. It is patterned by Lisa K. Ross, and it was a mystery knit along in the fall. I knit it all in Yummy 2-ply, which is by Miss Babs Yarn. And if you know me, you know that I love Miss Babs Yarn. It's just so easy for me to see a beautiful, beautiful color that she's got in her store. Click buy mine, as you'll see in the Stashquisitions bit for yarn a little bit later. Anyway, I can't resist a good Miss Babs yarn. Anyway, so the main color, this lovely blue. Is this not blue? This is not blue. This is parchment. This is, the color is actually white peppercorn, and it's a color that is quite frequently used by Miss Babs. And then I used a gradient set that had 6, 7, I have to count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was 7 gradient set of mini skeins, and this was a special called a Play on Purple Godly Starling, and the lace has come out beautiful. The little baubles and mosaic knitting have turned out just really quite lovely. I love this purple lace here, modeled after hyacinths, and then lots little mosaic, little lace, and lots of mosaic here at the end. Now, since it's a little bit asymmetrical, it doesn't sit quite in the middle where the two ends meet, since one end is quite longer than the other end. Get the inelegant taming of the shawl. Turn it around, pull corners how you like them. Make sure that the right side is showing. It's great shawl, great wrap to go under your coats, under your jackets, or even just wrap around your shoulders if you're a little bit cold at the office. I don't know if your office is like mine, but the men control the thermostat and it is cold. Anyway, so this is the Garden Variety MCal by Lisa K. Ross. Next up is the Adventuresome Wrap, a pattern by Amba O'Brien. This also is done in the Miss Babs Yummy 2-ply. This is my Advent. I got an Advent from Miss Babs this past year. And this dark purple was not part of the Advent, and it is the Muscadine Grapes colorway. Miss Babs said this would be an excellent color to blend together, you know, with the rest of the Advent. And the way I put it together, she dyed it as a gradient that goes from light tan to dark purple at the very end, but I sorted it out so that it would be light on each end with the dark purple in the middle, because purple's my favorite, and therefore I wanted the purple right up close to my face. So you can kind of see it's all the same pattern. 22 rows for the repeat. I had it memorized after a little while. I can tell this is the end I started in because I was quite loose on my make ones and my, let's see, are these make ones? No, these are knit two togethers and SSKs on this end. I was kind of loose, hadn't quite got the hang of it, but by the time I get down here to the other end, it looks much, much better. Alright, where's the middle? This one is likewise a wonderful one. Tuck this in over here. This one goes over here. Pull this down. Fluff out the hair. Yeah. Love this. Love this, love this, love this so much. Cannot wait for it to be winter so I can wear this into work, even though, like I said before, it is cold at the office, so maybe this gets to go to the office and be my office shawl for a week, and we just rotate them through a little bit. But that, I'm looking forward to Advent season next year. I've purchased a couple from some indie dyers, and I'm just waiting. I know Miss Babs typically puts her Advent up in September, and they go fast, so I'm just patiently waiting for Miss Babs to put her Advent up again so I can buy it, and I'm looking for new shawl patterns, shawl ideas of things that I want to do. So this is the Adventuresome Wrap by Amba O'Brien. Up next is another wrap that I absolutely love, and I believe I was working on this one the last time I did a video. This is the Integral Wrap. It is by Erin Krepp. And this one was so much fun with the lace moving into the mosaic to lace to mosaic to lace and so on and so forth. I had a mini skein set. What was this one? This was a play on hanging baskets, or my mini skeins. All these. And then for fun, I paired it with pale yellow jonquil for my neutral and my main color. And I just think, oh, it turned out really well. It kind of blends a bit with the babyest of pinks, but I think it stands out well against the darker purples. And so it's just the same lace, the same mosaic pattern as you go through. I didn't quite get this one memorized as I was knitting it, but that's okay. But I, had a great time. Comes all the way down here to this lovely dark purple again, and I blocked this one and was able to wear it just a little bit in the spring before it got really cold. In the spring before it got really hot. Really cold. Anyway. I love how big this one is. There's plenty of room after wrapping it around that it can drape. It can cover really quite nicely. Turn that around so the show side is showing. Anyway, this is a great one. I wore this as much as I could in the spring before it got too cold, because it's just totally, absolutely my colors, and I love this one. I cannot wait. I know it's weird. I don't like cold. I don't want anything to do with cold, but I cannot wait for the cold so I can wear my shawls. Anyway, so this is the Integral Wrap by Erin Krepp. Next up in the adventures of items that have been blocked and items that have changed the way they look completely by the blocking. This is the Sharon Show by Casapinka. I do not know the name of this pink one, but it was by Dylicious Yarns, and all the rest of the colors are Yummy 2-ply for Miss Babs. We have a lot of colors. The mailman has arrived, and I think he's bringing a box. Yep, it won't fit in the thing, so we're going to pause. Anyway, so this is the Sharon Show from Casapinka, and it really benefited from being blocked out. All the stitches that were pulling together have laid nicely now. All of the loops from the eyelets are open and wide. Just some gorgeous yarn from Dylicious Yarns and Miss Babs in the Yummy 2-ply. It's just a variety sampler. You have mesh lace. You have this ripple was so much fun to do. Some slip stitches up here, more slip stitches over here. The ribbing with these little pulled stitches looks so much better now that they're blocked than they did before. Like I say, the lace really opens up. These dots look fantastic. And a whole bunch of ribbing here. This was really pulling together tight, but now that it's blocked, it looks outstanding. This is a bright one that is probably going to need a new home. I don't imagine that I will wear it very much. It is wonderful and long though, so you really can wrap it around you twice and have plenty of room for the ends. It's quite fun, quite pretty. I think, honestly, if I were to do this one again, I would choose a different color instead of this green. I think it's the green that I really don't like from this project. I mean, not that it's bad, not that it's ugly, it doesn't really speak to me. So this is the Sharon Show by Casapinka. And lastly, for my shawls that I have, this one is actually a knit and finish since I last saw you. This is Raspberry Cordial, also by Casapinka. It was a small little knit along. When was this? This was, I think, in early March. I may not have started it the last time I recorded. Anyway, I went right off the rails since the first little section up here is in garter stitch, but I'm not a super garter stitch fan, so I changed it to stockinette stitch the other ways. This is a Valentine's Day special sock set from Chelsea Yarns in their Coupe sock base, and it is the Galentine's Day, the Galentine's Day set. So it had this super loud base and then two minis, the dark red and the purple, which were fantastic. Let's come down here. I don't know if I'm showing off the bottom of this as well as I should. You never know when you can't exactly see what you're looking at. Anyway, the only mistake that I made here is I forgot that lace section. You can kind of see there's lace there, but lace doesn't really show up very well when you have it with a super loud background. So that was a mistake. I should have gone with like more of a tonal or something that was a little more subtle. Instead, it's all sorts of crazy. It's a small one, so you can wrap it bandana style to wear out, but you'll probably need to tie the ends together under here. Oh, the picot edge that I put on it was not called for, but I wanted to use a little bit more of my purple, and I knew that I had enough purple to do the picot edge, and I did run out of the main color, so I couldn't bind off in the main color, so I chose the purple, chose the picot edge, made it my own. It's really a fun one. I like it. Honestly, I'll probably never really wear it out because, well, purples and pinks are my colors. I don't know that I really like it in this combination. I was going to say in this super loud, bright tones, except that Integral is in super bright, loud tones. One last way to wear it. It wears really good as just a basic shawl to cover your neck if it's just a little bit cold in the evenings. So this is Raspberry Cordial by Casapinka. The next batch of shawls that I have, there's 4 of them, have been completed since the last time I spoke to you, but they have not been blocked out yet. So they're still a little wonky. Some of the lace isn't laying flat or the way it's supposed to. Most of them I've woven in the ends, but I haven't trimmed them yet. I'll trim the ends after I have blocked the shawls. The first shawl that I have completed is the powder wrap. This is another pattern by Casapinka, and it is on the 100% Merino Superwash from Canon Hand Dyes. It was a gradient set baby girl. So you start here with this gorgeous blue into a nice soft purple. You can tell that it's probably the purple why I bought this. Kind of more of a raspberry, pinky, and down here to the lace bit, which is a soft pink, and then nearly a cream. This one, the pattern is written so you can do it in either a DK weight, I believe, or a fingering weight, and this is a fingering weight set, and I chose to do that. The lace and ribbing down here will look so much better once I get it blocked out. My little pickup stitches here, these will lay so much better as well once it's blocked out, but we'll just throw it around. You can get sort of an idea of what it will look like. See, it doesn't want to behave. Behaves much better after it's been blocked. So it'll look, something like that once it's blocked. Nice asymmetrical triangle shape. Super fun knit. You repeat the first couple sections a couple times before you come down here to the lace section. It looks challenging, but it was super easy. Don't let the lace put you off or dissuade you from doing it. It's a super simple lace. The next shawl I finished is also by Casapinka, and the pattern is olive pink, and I used Yummy 2-ply yarns from Miss Babs. Let's turn this right around. Let's see if I can remember my colors. This super pale pink is Haute de Laine, the dark purple is Majestic Mountain, This pinky purple is Creeping Time, and that means that my last purple, that's kind of in here with the pinks, is In for the Night. Excellent, excellent pattern. So much fun. You do a little this and some of that. Typical Casapinka. Oh, it looks like I haven't even woven in the ends here. Oops, I need to do that. So classical Casapinka, sampler of stitches, some slip stitches, a few yarn overs, a little of this, a little of that. This is another one that will look really quite fantastic once I do get it blocked out. This mesh section will lay much better. The baubles will pop out. The eyelets will behave like they're supposed to. Anyway, this was really, really fun. I had a lot of fun doing it since it is practically a monochromatic, and purple, that's about the middle. Wrap this around me like this. So lovely with all those ends that I need to weave in. Yeah, this one will be a fun one. This will be a favorite once I get everything blocked in and looking at it. And I've got four that need to be blocked, so yeah, probably after I finish the 2 on the needle ones that you're going to see in a minute, then it'll probably be time for a blocking party. So this is Olive Pink by Casapinka. Next up is The Knights Who Say Knit by Mary Annarella, also done in Yummy 2-ply from Miss Babs. I used the hamster and elderberries set that they designed for this, and so the hamster is the brown, and then there was a set of purple mini skeins for the elderberries. This was a fun knit. Lots of samples, lots of slip stitches, a unique, interesting construction. The construction will make, the shawl will lay a whole lot better once I block it. But we started, from here, started our chevrons, went out, did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. These were called coconuts. Also coconuts, more coconuts, clip-clop with the horses, some shrubberies, little rocks. There's rabbits. Where are my rabbits? Oh, this is exciting moose choreography. Here's where these two came to a point right here, and then they were joined at the point, and then this bit was added in. So I knit from this end into the center, and then we knit from this end over here on a second piece into the center. This was fun. My shrubbery, castle anthrax, coconuts again, little Frenchmen, more coconuts. Oh, these are newts right down here. These little things are supposed to be newts, as she turned me into a newt, but I got better. Alright, anyway, inwards, more moose choreography right there, some stones, and then back to the center where everything was sort of worked together, thrown in. I have woven in all my ends, but it's still, it's still a mess. There were so many color changes and whatnot, but really this was a fun one. It was so much fun. The pattern was silly. There were jokes galore in the Ravelry group that was sort of supporting it. She's planning on doing, we think, a Princess Bride mystery one either in the fall or next year, since that was a lot of what people had asked for when she was doing the planning and the whatnot for this one. Anyway, I should wrap it around my head, show y'all what it might eventually look like when I'm wearing it. There we go. Tuck it in so the pretty side is showing. Something like that. It'll probably, it'll grow once I block it, so this will hopefully come out longer and really have a lot of extra room to wear. So that is The Knights Who Say Knit by Mary Annarella. And the last shawl that I have all nice and finished and ready to be blocked is Inauguration Celebration / Consolation by Casa Pinka. This is also a Yummy 2-ply by Miss Babs primarily, and then there is a Scrumptious HT by Marionated Yarns here at the end. So the Miss Babs yarn is this blue, is Magical Muse, M-U-S-E, Muse. Let the muse take you, whatever. I can't pronounce it today. Anyway, this purple, variegated in here, is Happy Unicorn. And the purple that I did the pickups in, you can kind of see it here, is Swing. And then the pink on the end is Enchanted Dawn by Marionated Yarns. I'm not really a political person or going to state it, but I don't believe these guys have all the answers, nor do I believe that these guys have all the answers. I believe the true answers come from somewhere in the middle if we all work together with mutual respect for everybody. I watched an interesting podcast the other day talking about how cults and politics have sort of become almost cultivized, you know, with a cult of personality to per se, but they were defining things of, you know, based on what is a cult, what isn't a cult, how to tell a cult, and the main point is staying out of politics, but you want to avoid authoritarianism, where you are told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And I can see that in both both sides of the political spectrum on the fringes. You know, I see it on the left, I see it on the right, I see it in both sides, and as somebody who plays closer to the middle, who really does believe that by compromise and talking to your neighbors and loving one another and really understanding what they need or what they're going through and what they fear, the middle, can we really get to a point where we can improve the situation for everybody. So that's not me trying really hard not to be political. Anyway, so here it is, a symmetrical triangle. This one definitely could use a blocking. The slip stitches that are primarily all over it, well, that's sad. I really wanted to show more of the pink because pink is a favorite color and not the blue, but well, that's too bad. This one definitely would benefit from a proper blocking. Alright, what is on the needles? Let's start out with this project that I have in my Pastel Pansy project bag. This is a bag that my mom made me with fabric that I had laying around. I know a few of you asked how much she would charge to make you one, and I will say that the process is labor intensive. Some of the interior stabilizer stuff is a little expensive. In this wonderful pansy bag that I have the privilege of having a mother who loves to sew and is currently in a purse obsessive phase, I am working on Winter Lights by Mr. Stephen West. Let me tuck that back in here so it doesn't get lost. I am knitting this with Miss Babs in Yummy 2-ply. So here is the top of my shawl. I've done the first bit of this ray of the rays up here at the top. I've done a few of the bobble stitches, and right here I'm almost done with the first repeat of the honeycomb. My dark black is, what is this, Cascara? Then the light, my lightest purple is Neve, and then one of these, I think this is Flowers, and you can barely see the other one. You can see that there's two colors there around the baubles, so I think this is Flowers, and I think this is Frosty. But it might be reversed. I'd have to look. Well, you know what? I have the yarn here, so let's look. So, Cascara. It's gorgeous, beautiful, dark blue. I'm starting to worry. Will I have enough of that to finish it off? Here's my purple Neve. This is, Flowers. Flowers is the medium purple that you're not seeing very much of. And then lastly is this gorgeous Frosty. Hold them all together. Use your chin if you got it. Right? Right? Pretty. It's good. So there you go. That is the first project that I am working on in my second pansy project bag. It's dark pansies. Isn't that fun? Look at that. Pockets. Lots of pockets. This is Botanique by Pansy Picot, and it is a rectangular wrap. So, true Pansy Picot form. It's a sampler. We have a little broken seed stitch. There are some flowers kind of in here. Then some trees. I accidentally forgot a top of a tree when I was doing it. This she calls Gentle Rain. It's a little dark. You may or may not see these slip stitches there. This one is one of my favorite slip stitch patterns. It wasn't called for, but I substituted in there since it was the same as this thing down here. Some stripes. These are little tiny baby butterflies. That's what she called them. You can see it. And then I've started a section of mesh up here at the top. That doesn't look like much of anything. Now, surprise, surprise, this is not Miss Bab's Yummy 2-ply yarn. This is the polka dot sheep they have a shop up in Whitefish, Montana. My sister and I just did a crazy trip up to Glacier National Park and really had a great time. So while there, you had to look up if there were any yarn stores, and sure enough there was, polka dot sheep. So my colors are Scapegoat, and then my light is a Petals, then I have Free Spirit, and this is the color that got me when I walked in the door. This is Juneberry. I think that I need a sweater out of Juneberry. I love these. I absolutely love these. These are super, super pretty. Love, love, love this one. Anyway, they're coming together really quite nicely. I've titled my project Glacier Wildflower Bouquet because this has sort of all sorts of motifs and patterns to evoke or call to nature. Working on that, really enjoying that. I do, maybe a section of this and then work a little bit on winter lights and back and forth as we go. Let's reorganize a little bit and then it'll be time for the shopping section. Hey look, the sun came out. I wonder if you guys will be able to see that much of it on the screen when I come back to edit this and put this together. Alright, things that I bought. This should be no surprise, but most of it is Miss Bab's. But this is like 3 months worth of craziness. This is a special edition set of mini skeins put together for the Terra Maris set. But I just like to have them hanging around because it's fun to be able to just say, oh, there's that pattern on Ravelry. It looks great. I have a set of 7 mini skeins. I can just attack it and do it right now and go to the rest of the stash. Look what I've got in neutrals, pair things up, and dive in. It's really what I enjoy. This is a set of Yummy from a dark purple to a light purple. I really wanted to see how light this color was to see if it would be great as a neutral or a background color, like I used the yellow, the Yonquil in the integral wrap, just kind of to see how that would go, how it would fit in. It's a possibility. I might have to get online and buy another 1 or 2 of these just so I have them in reserve if I ever decide, oh yes, this is definitely what we're going to do with something like that. So there's that. What I didn't mention when I was talking about the inauguration celebration is I didn't have a great pink to go with the blue and the purple in the middle. I thought I did, but it turned out that it was a little too corally in section, so when you put it up against the bright pinks and purples that were in the purple variegated section, it looked really out of place. It looked too orange, and then some of my other pinks were just way too neon. Some of them were just too red, so I had a hard time finding a good pink that would go with it. Luckily, I had a tiny scrap of Enchanted Dawns from Marionated Yarns from one of the first shawls that I ever made, so I was rummaging around my scraps trying to see what I had or what I've worked with before to see if I had anything, and that's when I found the Enchanted Dawn and knew that that would be just a great color to finish that shawl off. So here we go. Then Miss Babs put up this set of super bright purples and this pink. I think that would have been a contender had I seen that before finishing up that shawl. So this is another quartet, nicely fades from the dark purple to the lighter purpley pink. This will be fun. I don't expect that I'll use them all together as I fade. I'll probably take them apart and use them for different projects. Come what may, let's pause while I pick up the things that have fallen on the floor. Now, Casapinka has teamed up with Lady Dye Yarns for a special little mystery knit along that's coming up here in July, and of course I ordered that, but the name of the little thing is going to be Talk to the Paw, and of course Miss Babs also put together some mini skein sets to coordinate it with the Talk to the Paw patterns, so I bought one of those because it's always good to have mini skeins on hand. You never know when you're going to need to just jump into a project and go crazy. With that in mind, and thinking that these would kind of work together, I bought a set of single ones, and this one is not showing you any purple, but there's a little strip of purple in there, which is why I thought I could go from here to there to the purples here, you know, have a nice little fade in there, and I have another couple of purple mini skeins that don't belong to anything that if I needed to I could fit in here. We'll see. So here is another, just some free, single, wild and carefree mini skeins. These are 2-ply toes is what she calls these. These are about a third of a full skein. Let's see, I already showed you the yarn that I bought up in Whitefish near Glacier National Park. So we've already seen those. And the last thing I have is not a purchase, but I actually won a giveaway from Rachel and Brenda, who are of Night Owl Fibers. They have a lovely, lovely podcast that y'all should check out if you are into knitting. They were giving away some fibers. It was tell us your favorite Mother's Day remembrance. I told the story, but I'm pretty sure that it would just happen to be a random number generator. So my favorite remembrance of a Mother's Day was one year my sister and I had gone out to the Hallmark to get a card to give to moms, have everybody sign it, we put it in the envelope, we give it to Mom at Sunday dinner. She chuckles as she's opening and says, "Oh, there's no way that this card can be any better than the card you guys gave me last year." And we're like, "Oh, what card is this?" And she proceeds to describe a card that has 3 little bears on the front looking sad and sorrowful. And they say, "Mom, we never meant to make your life miserable." And you open it up and it says, "We were trying to make each other's lives miserable. Happy Mother's Day." Well, this is the very same card that my sister and I had found for Mom for this year. So we gave her the same card 2 years in a row, and we did not remember what card we had given her last year. So that's the story, and it's now like family legend, and for 3 or 4 years thereafter we tried to find the same card to give to Mom every Mother's Day as best we could. And you know, if we ever find that card again, I'm buying like 20 of them, so you know, she's set for the rest of her life. Anyway, so that was the entry for the giveaway, and the giveaway was this one interesting bright colors. Look at that, skein of tweed yarn, and this is from Cherry Pie Cottage. It was donated to the Night Owl Fibers podcast to give as a giveaway, and the color is Unicorn Tails. Let's see, there you go, that's right side up, and tweed. I've never knit anything with tweed, so this is, you know, kind of an interesting yarn. It is super bright. I have no idea. I didn't even know I was entering a contest. I have no real idea of what I'm going to do with it, how I'm going to knit it up, but I mean, I will have to say the color saturation here is gorgeous, deep, wonderful. I love this, you know, tealy turquoise here on the end, this wonderful cherry pink. You know, it does have some wonderful colors that I do love, but unicorn tails. Give me some ideas, you guys. What should I knit with this? Maybe a hat. Hat would probably be a great idea. So those are my purchases and winnings for the past 3 months. Let me organize some stuff and then I'll talk about life and stuff. So work is returning to normal. Decided that come August it will be a normal semester, all the students on campus, very, very few remote learning classes. School is normal at a major university. So they have started having all the employees come back to work. Between June 1st and August 2nd is kind of the adjustment time where you kind of start to come to work more and more, where they monitor the COVID rates, monitor sort of vaccination rates, just kind of see how it's doing at the university community, see where we're going, how it's doing. So I think starting the beginning of May, I started to go in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then with June, I've just been going in every single day of the week, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., just, you know, back to normal sorts of things. It's interesting because my boss is retiring July 1st, so that's in about 2 weeks from the time I'm recording this. Don't know how long it's going to take me to get it all edited and up. They have not yet posted his job position. They're splitting his position into 2 separate parts. One will be technology focused because he currently takes care of like 125 computers in the department, make sure they're running, make sure they're PCI compliant, which basically is secure for processing credit card information so that none of the information can be stolen. He works on a lot of that. Plus he does a lot of the accounting things. So they're going to split it up into technology and accounting, and I really want the accounting bit. That's my bread and butter, my jam, my happy spot is the accounting. So hopefully they'll get it posted. I can apply for that job. Hopefully they'll hire me. I have to publish it to the outside in the world so that everybody gets a chance at it. But hopefully I turn out to be the best candidate and they keep me on. And please, 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 I would like that job because this is my favorite job of all the jobs I've ever had. So that's kind of what's going on at work. Kind of, you know, here's hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? Okay. Forever young, I want to be... No, not really. Not really. I don't want to be forever young. So, focus. What else are we doing? As mentioned, my sister and I decided to go up to Glacier National Park because we needed a vacation, hadn't been anywhere in 100 years, and figured the national park was about the best spot for it. My sister also has a good friend who works for one of the concessionaires up in the Kalispell area, so we'd have a friend up there to, you know, hang out with, get the lay of the land, tell us all the secrets and the ins and outs and the back ways. We did that. We found out that Glacier had changed the way that they're monitoring park entrance this year. While they still have the $35 7-day pass for a carload of up to like 10 people, something like that. They've also implemented a $2 going to the Sun Road ticketed entry. There's only about 500 of these available on any given day, and a total of 3,500 cars allowed in the park because the ticketed entry runs 7 days. So you start here and you get 7 days, and the next one gets 7 days, you know, so it layers. So there's, you know, a stack of cars. We didn't know about this until after I'd gone online and booked the hotels and figured everything out, and we decided when we were going and all of that good stuff. Well, we learned about this. Okay, well, the area's big. There's other areas of the park that you don't need the ticketed entry, the going to the Sun Road ticket to get into the park, and there's still other areas to see and hike and look around, so we were okay with that. We were okay with the possibility that we were going to go to Glacier and we might not get to go to Glacier. It's just something you have to decide to do. I understand why they have done this, because the people of the United States are loving our national parks to death. They're overcrowded. They being the rangers and staff, are having a hard time having enough rangers and staff to be able to service the number of people that are getting into the parks. As an example of another park that is being loved to death is Arches National Park here in Utah, where if you're not in the park by 8 a.m., chances are that you're not going to get into the park at all, because sometimes they will close entry because there are too many people in the park, and they'll just close the gates down. Nobody can come in until 20 cars go out, sort of thing. It's unpopular, but I understand why they've done it. And in my sister's and my case, we like I say, we were okay with going to Glacier without going to Glacier. But with the system, the way it works, there's about 140 some odd tickets that come up for purchase 2 days before their activation date. So say I wanted to go to the park June 4th, on June 2nd would be the first day that I could start purchasing tickets. So we kind of figured it out, counted back from the last day that we wanted to be in the park, you know, moved forward 7 days, because the ticket is good for 7 days, and then started trying to get a ticket 2 days before that. It took us, 2 of us would wake up early, get on the computer, make sure we were all ready to go by 8 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and try to purchase that ticket. And on the 3rd day, I lucked out and got us a ticket. So we were able to go inside and do the things we wanted to do. Anyway, a lot of talk. I am planning on doing a video of our trip to Glacier. I got a little GoPro and GoPro'd one of our hikes. There were 2 other hikes that I should have GoPro'd, but I didn't think about it in advance. I didn't know we were hiking. My sister kind of planned some of the hiking stuff because neither of us are in great shape for hiking. But anyway, a couple other hikes that I should have done, and then some car footage and driving and just, you know, this and that and photos and stuff. So I'm planning to put all that in another video. Anyway, I got loot at one of the places where you go to buy souvenirs, tourist traps. Why not? There was this gorgeous bowl available for sale. I usually don't go for hand-thrown pottery, but this is really nice and really delicate work. Plus the glaze inside. How can you say no to that gorgeous color, right? So this has become a yarn bowl. I put my yarn in it when I knit so it doesn't roll all over the place. And then one day I happened to see bear socks in one of the stores that were in the area, but they weren't in my size. They had small, they had large, they did not have medium. So we were kind of on a mission to find bear socks. We looked out, found bear socks at a different vendor. So I have bear socks. They're nice. They're smart wools. They're purple. They're not smart wools. They're similar to smart wools in that they're wool socks meant for hiking. Wool for socks is wonderful, you guys. It stays warm when it's wet. I have sweaty feet, so I wear a lot of wool socks because it'll wick the sweat away from my feet, and my feet stay cool and comfortable, and it's perfect. Anyway, so bear socks. Then huckleberries are a thing up there. It's just huckleberry this and huckleberry that and huckleberry everything. So I got the huckleberry jam because you have to, but also there was a maker who was doing huckleberry soap. So here I got a soap, and it smells absolutely divine, you guys. Absolutely divine. They do have a website if you're desperate for huckleberry delicious smelling soap. Right there is the website at the bottom of the packaging. You can go order some yourself. And then the last little huckleberry thing I ordered is creamed honey. So sweet clover honey and huckleberries. I haven't had any toast or any jam since we came back. So I haven't even tried this. I don't even know what it tastes like. We'll find out one day. I will buy some bread and it'll be delicious. What else have I been up to? Playing a little bit of Animal Crossing. A lot of Animal Crossing. Really enjoying that. Understand some of the upset that people have had about why wasn't it updated. The second anniversary, the anniversary has come and gone. Why this, why that, why the other. I don't know. I'm happy with the game. The original game I played was the GameCube, like back in 2005. No, even before that. 2000... It had to be between 3 and 5 because I was in my apartment in Rohnert Park when I bought the GameCube and the game. So, somewhere in there. Enjoying my island. Love it. Just, you know, whatever. It's fun. I enjoy it so much. So much. So there's that. Guess that's all that's really going on. I've switched rooms again. This is the front room in the house. It faces north, so when the sun's out I should get great light, like the sun is out right now and being beautiful. It was so cloudy and overcast earlier that I actually did put up some lights, so it'll be interesting to see how the light changes during the day as I edit this and put it all together. And is that everything, princess? The housing market is absolutely nuts. My brother and sister-in-law aren't really sure when they're going to get into the house that they have purchased and is being built for them. Luckily, the contract they're signed, the price is set in stone, sort of thing. The builder won't be raising the prices on them, even though the price of everything has come up. They're doing everything in their power to not have the contract canceled on them because the price of everything has gone up. Meanwhile, they're living in my condo, and I'm just kind of waiting because the crazy HOA lady is still there, still causing problems, still making up problems that aren't problems so she can solve them to justify her existence. Anyway, at the beginning of March, shortly after I did my last video, there were 2 units that went on the market and off the market almost instantaneously at $249,000, so $249,000. This past week, just yesterday, a unit, well, 2 units have now gone up and gone off the market fairly quickly at $289,000. So I'm hoping to be able to sell here at the peak of the market, or what feels like the peak. This is not sustainable. It's just kind of crazy what's going on, but I have a place to live, so I'm not too worried about it. And Princess is going to get herself into trouble here in a minute, so I better sign off. It's good to talk to you guys. Thank you for everybody who's been here since the beginning, and hello and welcome to all of y'all who are new here. Mostly I just talk the stitches and the knits and very rarely politics, so today was kind of an exception. That's it. You guys be good. Be kind to each other. Kindness makes the world go round. A little kindness never cost me anything. Stay well. Be good. Hugs and stitches, everyone. Bye.